All right, Bucks win, Bucks win, Bucks win, and what maybe was the most, not maybe, this was the most impressive win of the season. I mean, they've had good wins, but they haven't had anything close to what they were able to pull off in this one. Like beating the Kirk Cousins Vikings, okay, yeah, that was good. What they did against Green Bay last week, that was good. But this is a good football team with the Jaguars. Yes, I know they're struggling right now. Yes, I know that maybe they weren't quite as good as what people thought they would be. I would still say this is a very least competent football team that they just dominated from wire to wire. And the Buccaneers got up early, and I was kind of saying, okay, this is going good. I'm happy, but like let's not count our chickens before they hatch here. Still a lot of football to go, but it just kept working on offense and on defense. Let's start off with Baker Mayfield. I think we got to talk about him, as he is to me the real story. I made a whole film study on his performance as well. At this point, I think it's over. You pay him, even if he struggles the next couple of weeks. I think you keep him around. I guess unless he has a complete meltdown these last 2 weeks, then you don't even make the playoffs or anything like that. I think that it's pretty much. It's his job. He's got the job, and I think you pay him. You give him hopefully not too much money. Hopefully it's a Geno Smith-like contract where you're kind of saying, okay, you're not one of the top guys. We're not going to pay you like the top guys, but we want you here. You work here. Like it makes sense. Let's just make this all work. That's what I think you do. If I'm Tampa Bay, and the reality is he's playing his best football at the right time. And that's kind of the thing you look towards, because the situation entering this game, the situation was you win 2 out of the next 3. It doesn't matter which 2. You win 2 out of the next 3, you're in the playoffs. The most obvious one I thought would be beating the Saints and the Panthers. I felt like that would be the way to get into the NFC, win the NFC South. When I predicted in my ESPN playoff machine last week the Buccaneers winning the division, it was due to them losing to Jacksonville, but still winning the next 2 games. So that's what I was expecting. But so far, this puts you ahead of schedule. Now, I still think you want to win against the Saints, even though it's the Panthers. Yes, I know the Panthers are terrible. Weirder things have happened. Stranger things have happened. I think about the Carson Wentz Colts losing to the Jaguars the last game of the season. I even think back to 2008 when the Jeff Garcia Buccaneers lost to the Raiders, who were bad, on the last game of the season. The Bucs just needed to win that game, and they would have been in the playoffs. So you don't want to be in that situation, but that is the situation. They're in a great spot right now. Tampa Bay in a great spot to make the playoffs. Got to give some other people some credit here. One of them, Devin White, who, it was a storyline. It was a huge storyline last week of his kind of benching. I don't think they've ever officially called it a benching, but the report was, and how true is this? I don't know. But the report was that Devin White was considered out. He was not considered out. He was considered able to play. He was medically cleared to play, but the Buccaneers said they were going to give him a limited snap count. Then, because of that, he said, well, then I don't want to play, and then I'm not going to play. And a lot of people felt like that you're not being a team player in that situation. Well, okay, who knows how true that is? Who knows what the situation was? He came out and he played well today. He had the interception right away. He was part of the strip sack situation. He wasn't the one who knocked the ball out, but he was involved in the sacking of Lawrence to get the fumble. Diaby had he got credit for the forced fumble, but White was a factor there. White also had another sack that was it was a terrible roughing the passer penalty. That again, the roughing the passer stuff. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating, and I'm not saying this in like, oh, how could they call it on? Because like whatever, one call doesn't change this game. It was a blowout. I'm just being in general, because there was also another one that there was just all across the board throughout this today, and it's been a thing for a while. It's like, what are you supposed to do? If you can't put your body weight on a quarterback, how else are you supposed to tackle them if you also can't throw them to the ground? You have to caress them as they're going to the ground. What are you supposed to do? It drives me nuts, but at the end of the day, I just have the mindset of, you get to the quarterback enough times, every now and then you're going to get a penalty. It is what it is, which is stupid. But yeah, Chris Godwin, the real MVP of this season is Chris Godwin's wife, right? Because when she, tweeted out that they need to get him the ball more, now they're getting him the ball more, and it's clearly working out. It's the right strategy, getting him the ball. The offense has looked so much better since he's been a big part of the offense. Obviously, Mike Evans, don't know what they were thinking, leaving him one-on-one on a few plays, but it was not a good strategy. Evans, he's just going to win those situations. So, good stuff there. Defense in general, I gotta say, so I'm frustrated about the Carlton Davis injury. I hope it's not too serious. It didn't look good, although who knows? Sometimes they look terrible and aren't terrible. But I had a thought literally right before it happened of like, the Buccaneers defense hasn't been great this season, but a lot of that is because of injuries, and they really lack secondary depth. Zion McCollum, not a great player. It is what it is. He's a depth piece. So when he's out there, the defense just looks a lot worse. So, but when now that we're healthy, well, now the defense looks way better. And then almost immediately, Carlton Davis goes down with an injury. Didn't matter in this game, largely due to their ability to get turnovers, which is so important. The turnovers that Tampa Bay can generate. You have to think, if they're going to win a playoff game, it's probably going to be winning the turnover battle, and that goes both ways, the defense generating and the offense not committing, which, again, Bucs did a good job of protecting the football, which is very good to see. And I think you're also kind of seeing it wasn't really in this game, but the fact they have a semblance of a running game, teams can't feel like they can just go all out to protect the passing game. And now that you have that situation going, this offense just feels so much better. And, I mean, the fact that their offense is legitimately playing good is just such a turnaround from what was happening earlier in the year and what we thought was going to be happening, at points, heading into this season. So, really good stuff. I mean, again, a huge win. The playoffs aren't locked, but at this point, they feel pretty locked. I mean, again, all you have to do is either beat the Saints or beat the Panthers. I mean, that if you don't win one of those games, you don't deserve to make the playoffs, quite frankly. And then they would be locked into the 4 seed. There's no possibility of moving up with the Lions win. So 4 seed, best they can do. Which again, then you got to play the Cowboys or the Eagles. But hey, crazier things have happened. So definitely fun. Also, you got to give credit to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles going for a 4th down, like when they're up 30-6. Never thought I'd see the day where that happens. So that's cool to see. I'm glad to see him doing stuff like that. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that the color commentator said Todd Bowles should be a Coach of the Year candidate. I think that's insane. No, I don't think he should be a Coach of the Year candidate quite yet. But really good stuff. Just in general, just a really fun win. And again, I mean, you think about it. At one point, the Buccaneers were 3-7. They were losing to the Panthers. They were losing to the Falcons in the final minute and a half before Baker had that drive to extend things. It's crazy this run they've gone on, and it's not over yet. Hopefully, they can keep the win streak going for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.